Welcome folks, I'm Jaby Koay. We're gonna look at 20th Century Fox's The Predator for 2018. I haven't seen any ads, posters, commercials for this whatsoever. This is gonna be my first exposure to The Predator. So let's do this together. Here we go.
Do you know what my job description is? I'm in acquisitions.
I like that actor.
I look up and I catch what falls out of the sky.
What's on the ship?
Tell me about the mission. Did you see anything unusual?
It's above our pay grade. I get a cookie now?
Look, I get it. Something went down in Mexico. Nobody wants any witnesses. We need to know if you and your men pose a threat.
We're rangers.
Hey, Baxley, if your mom's vagina were a video game, it'd be rated E for everyone.
Isn't posing a threat. Kind of the fucking point.
Predators just don't sit around making hats out of rib cages. They conquered space. But that's not what's on the horizon.
Should I be worried?
Riley. I think you know what is on the ship. The ultimate predators.
Light him up! We may die.
We're still here. So come and get us, motherfucker.
I grew up with The Predator. I was big fans of those movies as a kid. The first one with Arnold and the second one with Danny Glover. Over and over I watched those films. I was super into it and my dad was cool enough to let me watch it. Years later when they came out with Alien vs. Predator, I wasn't super into those series. They've made so many random spin-offs of things and I get a little bit confused between the actual films and the online fan films at this point. I did see one with Adrian Brody which was like, nah. I don't remember liking any of the spin-offs. Now Shane Black has an interesting set of credits because he was actually in Predator. If you look him up, you'll find that right away. He would play Hawkins in the first Predator. He's directed only a handful of movies so far, but I'm most familiar with him because of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and Lethal Weapon. This feels like it's up his alley. If you look at his history, like his films are always like riding that line between dramatic violence and comedy. And so this is kind of a perfect vehicle for him and what his style is. I don't recall anything else he's done that's horror, writing or directing, but it just seems like a film that he would probably be really into. After Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, he did Iron Man 3 and The Nice Guys. The Nice Guys also had its moments of violence. It was more on the comedy side, but the original Predator is scary. And so at the beginning of the commercial, it gave me the sense that it was gonna be more grounded like the original and not really about jokes and ha-has. But then it went into the jokes, and it was a very funny joke, admittedly.
If your mom's vagina were a video game, it'd be rated E for everyone.
That was good. This feels like it's kind of riding that line. It's straddling that line between the original grounded Predators, 1 and 2, and the newer ones that I feel are way more hokey. I am hoping that it favors that first one, but I honestly can't tell right now. It looks like it could be a lot of fun, or it could be really meh. I'm gonna cross my fingers and go ahead and watch this one in the hopes that it's doing the first two justice. As a kid, everything was amazing, so you know, Predator 2 might not be good anymore if you go back and watch it. Even the first one might be problematic, but as a kid, I loved those movies, and you know, I loved Super Mario Brothers as a kid. You're dumb and gullible when you're a kid, so that your judgment of that can't, you know, it's not reliable. I wasn't expecting the much larger Predator to show up, and that was a cool surprise to see the even bigger Predator. I mean, it just makes it more scary. You got these two demons, for lack of a better word. I know they're not supernatural, but like these two demons going head to head on Earth. It looks like they're going head to head. It doesn't look like they're teaming up. How that plays out is that's what's making this feel like Alien versus Predator to me, because while that's cool, while that was a scary surprise, and I can imagine all the scariness that would ensue, it has me a little bit apprehensive because I don't want it to be a repeat of the bad part of history with this franchise. I want it to pull as much as possible from the goodness of the original that I recall from being, when I was a kid, when I was dumb and gullible. I watched Sterling K. Brown in the O.J. Simpson series, and I also saw him, of course, in Black Panther. I am a fan of this dude. I think that he's a very good actor. Whenever he shows up on the screen, I'm like, yeah, this guy, I really like watching him. He's got a very nice presence, and I buy into him. Whatever he's doing, I always buy into his performances. I can't recall watching an Olivia Munn film where I was like, that's an amazing performance. But every time she shows up on screen, I'm like, that's a beautiful woman, and I will gladly watch her for 2 hours. I watched Boyd Holbrook in Narcos. I think he's another one that has a very likable presence on screen. He's a decent actor from what I can tell. Albeit I watched Narcos Season 2 in fast mode with my Google Chrome speed controller extension. But I watched the first one in normal mode. I liked what he did. His performances throughout season 1 and 2, I didn't question. I just bought into it. He just seems like a cool guy. And of course, we got Keegan-Michael Key. It threw me for a hot second. I know that he's got a lot of range. He's a super, super talented guy. But when I saw him, it immediately made me think, is this a comedy? Is that what this film is now? Not necessarily in a bad way. I just, immediately I was thinking, he's going to be a source of levity. Immediately followed by his ass getting choked out. Again, this film is likely to ride that line, straddle that line between dark humor or black humor, which Shane Black loves to do, and very violent drama. I'm gonna go into this cautiously optimistic and really, really hope that it's a very enjoyable film. I don't imagine that it will surpass the original in terms of quality or appreciation. The smart thing to do, I suppose, is just throw out any preconceived notions I have from the original. Obviously, there will be nods to the original, but it probably will never measure up, and that's not a bad thing. Why should it? I'll go into this cautiously optimistic. As long as it entertains, then cool. Then we're good. And that's all you can really hope for today. So that's it, you guys. I would love to hear your thoughts on this, especially if you're huge fans of the original Predator 1 and 2 like I was. Be honest, be verbose, let me know your feelings in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out our other reactions, reviews, and short films. I'm Jaby Koay. Peace out.